Have you ever wanted to talk about your feelings in English but didn't know the right words? Maybe you felt embarrassed or worried about sounding strange. Well, here's the truth. Native speakers talk about mental health every single day, and the vocabulary is simpler than you think. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Hi, I'm your English guide, and in the next few minutes, you're going to learn 7 essential phrases that native speakers use when talking about mental health, stress, anxiety, and emotions. These are the real words Americans use in conversations with friends, family, and even coworkers. By the end of this lesson, you'll feel confident discussing your mental well-being in English without any awkwardness. Let's get started. The first phrase is, I'm feeling overwhelmed. This is one of the most natural ways to describe when you have too much to handle. You might say, work has been crazy this week. I'm feeling really overwhelmed. Notice we use the present continuous, I'm feeling, not just I feel. It sounds more natural and shows the emotion is happening right now. Compare this to simply saying, I'm stressed, which is correct but less descriptive. Native speakers often say overwhelmed because it explains exactly why they're stressed. You might also hear, I'm drowning in work, or I feel buried. But overwhelmed is the safest, most professional choice. Here's a phrase that's uniquely American. I need a mental health day. This means you need to take a day off work to rest and recover emotionally. You might tell your boss, I'm not feeling great mentally. I'd like to take a mental health day tomorrow. This phrase has become very normalized in the past few years. Younger generations especially use it without shame. You could also say, I need a day to recharge, or I need some me time. But mental health day is the most direct and is widely accepted. Some companies even encourage employees to take them. When something is affecting your mental health, native speakers often say, I'm struggling with, or I'm dealing with. For example, I've been struggling with anxiety lately, or I'm dealing with some personal stuff right now. These phrases are honest and open without oversharing details. The word struggling shows you're finding it hard, but also that you're actively working on it. Dealing with is slightly less serious. It can apply to anything from a bad week to ongoing depression. You'll hear both in everyday conversation. Notice that native speakers usually follow these with the word with, not from. It's struggling with anxiety, not struggling from anxiety. Now let's talk about how to support others. When you want to ask if someone is okay, native speakers say, I wanted to check in on you, or simply, how are you really doing? The phrase check in is very common in American English. It means to reach out and see how someone is feeling. Another powerful expression is, I'm here for you. This is simple, but deeply meaningful. You might say, I know you've been going through a lot. I'm here for you if you need anything. This phrase removes stigma because it shows mental health is normal and that asking for support is acceptable. You could also say, I've got your back for a more casual version with friends. The phrase, I'm taking care of my mental health, is empowering and positive. You might say, I'm not going out this weekend, I'm taking care of my mental health. This frames it as something active and responsible, not as weakness. Related to this is self-care, which has become very popular. Someone might say, I'm doing some self-care this weekend, yoga, reading, and sleep. Self-care means activities that help you feel better emotionally and physically. You'll also hear, I'm prioritizing my mental health, or I'm working on myself. All of these phrases normalize the idea that taking time for your emotional well-being is important and necessary, just like physical exercise. Finally, let's talk about seeking professional help. Native speakers say, I'm thinking about talking to a therapist, or more simply, I'm considering therapy. This is casual and non-stigmatized in American English today. You might hear someone say, things have been tough. I'm going to start seeing a therapist. Notice we don't say, I'm going to a psychiatrist, unless we mean medication specifically. A therapist is the general term for a mental health counselor. You can also say, I'm in therapy, or I'm seeing a therapist. Importantly, native speakers rarely apologize for this choice. They treat it like any other healthcare decision. If you want to be even more specific, you can mention counseling or talking to someone, which are slightly more casual terms. So there you have it. 7 phrases that native speakers use to talk about mental health naturally and without shame. These words will help you have real conversations about emotions, stress, and well-being with confidence. Remember, talking about mental health in English is not just about vocabulary, it's about normalizing these conversations. The more you use these phrases, the easier it becomes. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to Daily English Edge for a new English lesson every single day. Thank you for watching, and keep speaking English naturally.